I can't stop playing Windrunners. Seriously, every time I put the game on to see if maybe I've missed something in preparation for this video, I get lost in another run again. Windrunners is an upcoming roguelike side-scroller featuring intense, challenging, and satisfying aerial combat. It's currently in alpha and is the fourth game developed by 7-person Brazilian dev team Ludic Studios. The game will be available for PC, Mac, Linux, and Nintendo Switch, and thankfully the system specs for it don't appear to be too high. In the game, you play as one of 3 rebellious Ishma pilots battling against the forces of the Realm, a powerful force that uses fear and its military strength to dominate the Zara Ignis system. It's a familiar story, but that's okay. There's not much story told in the game itself so far, but it's still early on in development. To be honest, the primary reason I'm making this video is because the action is so f***ing wild and fun, I want to tell everybody about it. I keep going back to it time and time again. I mean, it's a short demo, and apparently I've already put, 10 hours into it. Jeez. It's a very easy game to pick up and play, but it's one that feels like it'll take time to really master. The demo features 3 pilots, with slots for at least 4 more, each with their own craft, damage accuracy and fire rate specs, and special weapons. Cyan does the least amount of regular damage and has the lowest accuracy, but makes up for it by having the highest rate of fire. Her special weapons are laser-based. She's got homing lasers, which are really handy when you're surrounded by enemies, which happens a lot, and a big-ass laser, which is great for slow or stationary targets, but can also be used to create space in front of you. Xena is probably my favorite so far. She does more damage with greater accuracy than Cyan, but has a slightly slower rate of fire. Her special weapons are all missile-based. Her barrage missiles function a lot like Cyan's homing lasers and are extremely effective when dealing with multiple nearby targets, or can be concentrated by locking onto a specific target. Her direct missile special weapon fires a powerful missile that's most effective when you're locked onto a target, otherwise it just goes in a straight line until it hits something. Leonora's attacks do heavy damage, but her slow rate of fire requires much more precision and patience than the other 2 pilots. Her Ray Storm special weapon fires 2 parallel bursts of rays directly in front of her, which can be useful for a strafing run against slow or stationary targets, but also useful in a dogfight if you've got a cluster of fighters in front of you. Her piercing ray fires a quick but powerful instant hit laser that damages anything in its path. With a bit of timing and skill, it can be very effective at clearing the air very quickly. After each battle, and in typical roguelike fashion, you can choose between multiple upgrades to customize your craft. These can range from providing HP when you damage or destroy an enemy, increasing weapon damage, defense, rate of fire, or special weapon attacks or cooldown times, passive abilities such as laser cannons and homing missiles that target and fire automatically, triggering an ability when taking damage, to summoning allied assault and repair craft. In addition to choosing an ability, you must also choose your next mission, which, if you beat it, will grant its own rewards. The demo did finish off with a boss fight at the end of the 3rd planet. These bosses, called Torments, are giant metal beasts found throughout the Zara Ignis system. The Torment you fight in the demo is a giant crab-legged machine with a massive gun turret on top of it that, despite the machine's size, is incredibly nimble, jumping around the screen like it was nothing. As the fight goes on, the boss unleashes loads of homing missiles, though they were surprisingly easy to avoid, almost like the game was a bit too generous here. But despite that, it's a fun and very challenging fight. Graphically, the stages are nice, brightly lit, and colorful. The backgrounds have the feel of a lot of depth to them. The HUD is a bit on the small side, but all the info you need is there. The bottom portion shows your cooldown timers for your special weapons, with an audio notification when they're ready to be used, overheat meters for your turbo boost and primary weapons, as well as your ship's health. The top portion of the HUD shows a percentage of the enemies you've already defeated in the stage, so you have an idea of how much longer it's going to be before you're done. The numbers were a bit hard to read, but thankfully there's a meter that provides a quick reference as well. Personally, I'd love to be able to adjust the HUD size myself, and we'll see if that comes later on. I really like what I've seen so far, and I'll probably continue to play this from time to time because there isn't really anything like this in my gaming library. I do have some questions though. I wonder how much the story is going to factor in. I mean, we've got a bit of backstory so far, and one of Ludic's goals is to focus on well-constructed narratives. With an action-oriented game like this, it really feels like it could go either way. However, the Steam tags show that there's multiple endings, so I'm actually curious how that would work. Another thing I wonder is if there's going to be countermeasures like flares and chaff, maybe even stealth. Several enemies in the game use homing missiles, and lacking countermeasures of any kind seems like a bit of a gap. Then again, this might be on the roadmap for them already. Again, this game is in alpha. And the last burning question I have is, when's it coming out? Sorry, this is just one of those games that struck the right chord with me. It's had a Steam page up since October 2020, but there haven't been a ton of updates. Recently, the game was part of the Latin America Games Showcase, but not much other information is available. I may dig around in the Discord and see if I can find out more. So, what do you think of Windrunners? Honestly, after playing the demo, I'm really interested in looking at their other titles as well. Have you played this demo or any other games by Ludic Studios? If so, what'd you think? And also, do you know of any other 2D aerial combat games? I don't know if I can wait until this comes out. I did post a clip of this on Twitter, and I actually got a couple of responses back telling me about games that are in a similar genre, namely Jetlancer and Luftrausers, so I'll probably be checking those out as well. Anyhow, that's it for me. Go out there and go play some fun-ass games, like Windrunners. I'll see you around.